It was the final stretch of the race. Ethan could barely feel his legs, and his lungs burned with every breath. The sun blazed down on the cracked pavement, but the finish line was in sight. A year ago, he would never have imagined himself here, competing in a marathon. Ethan had once been the kind of guy who quit before even starting. He had dreams, big ones, but every time he tried something, self-doubt pulled him back. "I'm not good enough," he used to tell himself. "I'll never make it." That changed the day he met Mr. Reynolds, an old track coach who saw something in him that Ethan couldn't see in himself. One evening, as Ethan sat alone on a park bench, Reynolds had walked up and said, "The only thing between you and your dreams is the first step. Take it, and don't stop." It started with a single run. Just 1 block, then a mile. The first few weeks were brutal, his body ached, and his mind screamed at him to quit. But he kept going. 1 step at a time. 1 mile at a time. Months of discipline, sweat, and sacrifice led to this very moment. As Ethan pushed through the pain, he thought about all the times he had given up before, all the times he had doubted himself. Not this time. The finish line was just ahead. The crowd cheered. His heart pounded. With one final burst of energy, he crossed the line, collapsing onto his knees. He had done it. Tears filled his eyes. But this time, they weren't tears of regret. They were tears of triumph. Ethan had finally learned the most important lesson of his life. The last mile is always the hardest, but it's also where champions are made.